cases.
Were there an instance where LGUs had any formal parang formal engagement with HSAC in terms of
Execution, sir?
execution or mediation?
Not that I know
Not formal,
of.
no?
Not
For,
that
I'm
formal,
just
sir.
pinuntahan kasi kami ng NLRC and Valenzuela kasi we have a very active yung TIPC, Tripartite Industrial Peace Council.
Because you have an industrial industry
Oh,
in
yeah.
Valenzuela.
So, and they were very happy because we basically the TIPC is the one first line of defense
Yes,
to
sir.
prevent mga strikes, prevent industrial conflict.
Yes, sir.
If the TIPC cannot handle it, tsaka umaakyat sa NLRC. So I'm thinking of the same model for HSAC since a lot of these homeowners talagang LGU ang pinupuntahan nila.
Are very emotional, in fact.
Very, very.
Yes, sir.
I've seen that. I've seen that firsthand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
In fact,
also...
umaabot pa minsan sa patayan.
Yes, sir.
Meron kaming cases na ganun.
It's unfortunate.
3 cases na ganun. Yeah.
Yeah. But the option remains with the complainant, sir, if they will file in HSAC or sometimes in DSUD or in the LGU, at least at the initial stage, the LGU can assist. But if the parties will opt to file in HSAC, it will be through the regional arbitration branches.
So it's something to think about lang, no? So that we can, as much as possible, if we can unclog the HSAC, mas maganda yun. No?
Yes, sir. But I think it will also need legislation.
Legislation,
Kasi
yeah.
right now, the mandate is really on HSAC.
Okay. Hindi ko nakita yon nung dinidiscuss in law. But I understand that the SUD can also adjudicate. Tama ba?
Sir,
There's also a power.
the role of HSAC kasi is, the quasi-adjudication role has been granted to HSAC in the creation of 11201. Regulation was granted to DSUD while adjudication was given to HSAC.
Election.
It includes election cases as well for HOAS, yes.
Okay. So,
And the first stage of adjudication, sir, is really conciliation. So it's really the mandate of HSAC. From the time conciliation sets in, it's the first stage of adjudication.
how do you define the role of DSUD and HSAC?
When the law 11201 was created, the regulation part was granted to DSUD and the adjudication part was granted to HSAC.
So kung may mga homeowner disputes, it's really HSAC that
The primary agency, sir, that will
okay.
be tasked to handle the adjudication.
There was an instance, I think, in Multinational Village where there's a different decision from HSAC and then a different intervention from DSUD. I think, if I'm not mistaken, here, HSAC disqualified the 2019 board and ordered new elections, but DSUD later reinstated the same officials and allowed them to oversee the 2024 elections.
There was a decision rendered by HSAC, and because we have limited sheriffs to handle the execution, we asked DSUD to assist us in the execution and conduct the election, to oversee the election.
Pero parang in this case, iba yung HSAC removed the board but DSUD reinstalled the same board that you removed in Multinational Village.
Unfortunately, sir, I was not
Privy to that.
yes, sir. It
Okay.
happened last year.
Secretary.
Yes,
I'm just trying to understand the delineation of responsibilities.
Tama po yun. May mga cases na magkaiba yung desisyon ng DSUD sa HSAC. Kaya we're trying to harmonize para magkaintindihan, para isa lang yung basis ng mga desisyon. So we're in the process of hopefully if both DSUD and HSAC will agree, we have to really sit down and start the discussions of the TWG for harmonization. So talagang kailangan of course, prior to my appointment, marami talagang cases na ganun po. Hindi lang yung multinational.
But in the case of multinational, ang pumasok doon is your regulatory powers.
In the
Tama
case
ba?
of multinational, Mr. Chairman, there was a decision from HSAC. That decision was appealed to the Court of Appeals. It was reversed, and that decision of the Court of Appeals was affirmed by the Supreme Court. So, in the exercise of regulatory powers of DSUD, we conducted election in multinational using the final and executory judgment of the Supreme Court. So, there is technically no conflict in the decision between HSAC and DSUD insofar as multinational is concerned because we did not decide. We just exercise our regulatory powers to once and for all settle the issues concerning the community of the multinational.
Acted on the decision of the Supreme Court in this particular
Yes,
case.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, all right. And one good thing is based on data, 90% ng decisions ng HSAC is
Our
affirmed
affirmance rate, sir, is very high. It's
affirmed by
90
the CA,
96%.
except for multinational, no? I think yun in 10%.
Well,
Yung 10% na na-reverse,
based on
pero
our
90% panalo naman.
Yeah,
Oo.
based on our record, sir, we have a very high affirmance rate.
Oo, that's very good. Itong multinational kasi mayayaman yan eh. No? Kaya pwede i-appeal. Siguro yung mga ISF, pag anong sinabi ng HSAC, yun na yun. Diba? So, but that's it's good to hear that the 90% are being affirmed
96%.
by 96%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll go to NHA. Okay. And then okay. Sa NHA, there's a 2.2 billion subsidy, GM, no, na ibibigay.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then you mentioned earlier the 2.2 subsidy will go to
1 billion is for housing for the SC Mandamus and 1 billion is for calamity housing. Then the 200 million is part of our emergency housing assistance program, wherein we also give financial assistance similar to INSAB, Mr. Chair.
actually Actually, that's what I wanted to ask. No? Anong difference nung ni IDSAP and yung emergency housing program? Kasi dito, which 200 million for emergency housing program, for the emergency housing assistance program, EHAP, which provides immediate housing assistance in the form of cash aid to victims of calamities to facilitate prompt recovery and shelter construction.
Actually,
Pareho eh.
Mr. Chair, it's a similar program wherein we give financial assistance to man-made or natural calamities doon sa mga tinamaan po ng earthquake, bagyo, fire. We also harmonize with the DSUD on similar na po kami wherein we give 10,000 pesos for those partially damaged and 30,000 pesos for those totally damaged houses.
That's why, Mr. Chair, in our wish list, kasama yun na we are requesting na yung IDSAP for 2026 sa NHA natin ilagay para ma-consolidate na yung EHAP saka IDSAP.
So the move of the department is to put it under NHA.
NHA.
Bakit NHA? Hindi
Mas
DSUD?
yung organization nila mas malawak sila nationwide, and nasa charter din nila dun sa bagong charter nila. And then kami kasi more on regulatory talaga yung
Yung policy,
training ng
no?
tao namin eh.
Policy
So,
making and
yes.
regulatory. Planning, policy
Yes.
making, regulatory. So
For-
ang execution,
NHA.
yan ang direction ng
Yes.
okay.
For
Alright.
the information din po of Mr. Chair, we started the EHAP program since 2013 pa po. So it's a regular program po of the National Housing Authority.
And then I'll ask this to all of the attached key shelter agencies. I was reviewing your balance sheet and income statement, and yung mga key shelter agencies, they're quite big. Like for example, sa NHA, assets of about 26 billion. yung mga ibang key shelter agencies, malalaki rin sila, no? Billions rin yung kanilang assets, and lahat kumikita, no? All the key shelter agencies are turning a profit before subsidy, no? So ang tanong ko, bakit pa pumupunta dito para humingi ng subsidy? Magagaling naman tong mga key shelter agencies natin, Secretary.
Yeah, I think
diba?
dapat
I'm sure ayaw nyo na kami makita dito, mga politiko, diba? Kung kaya nyo na ma-finance sarili nyo, mas maganda yon.
But sa laki po kasi ng requirement, especially sa production, no, because of the backlog, we really need infusion from the national government.
Like for example, dito sa socialized housing finance is 45 billion ang assets. Net worth is about 12 billion. And then profit before subsidy is about 195 million. So lahat magagandang performance eh. And I'm saying this because I really commend the key shelter agencies for being managed quite well, no? So ang ano ko, kung maganda naman yung cash flow, kaya naman ng internally generated, why come to Congress and the Senate to ask for more subsidies, no? Hindi ba kaya ng internally corporate operating budget natin to, yung sariling
The head
corporate
of
funds?
the agencies will explain, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Ito yung apat na agencies, socialized housing, NHA, mutual home development fund, and yung yes. Yun. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, for the part of National Housing Authority, we only have a minimal income of 36 million, and majority of the, if not karamihan po ng housing projects of the NHA, some of these are grant. In fact, Yolanda Housing, Marawi Housing, wherein we don't recover this, and we only get our MOE from our corporate generated revenue. So we really need the NG subsidy to produce these houses, especially if it's by grant, Mr. Chair.
Projected profit for 2026 is 66 million
Yes, Mr.
before
Chair.
subsidy, no? And then I saw in your income statement, yung business income ninyo, the revenues largely come from business income.
Yes, commercial properties, Mr. Chair.
Okay, which you lease out. What
Yes,
are
sir.
these commercial properties?
One of this, the biggest of this is one in Vertis North with the Ayala. It's a JV with the Ayala Corp. So we get this business revenue to pay for our PS and MOE, Mr. Chair.
Ang inyong assets actually is 207 billion.
Yes,
But
Mr. Chair.
marami dito mga mga bahay, no? Bahay.
Actually, majority of this would be commercial lots which are being used also with other government agencies. Yung mga offices or regional offices ng mga ibang other agencies where we just lent the lot for use of RAC. But it's still in our books as asset, Mr. Chair.
Hindi ba pwede nila bilhin na lang yun? To generate.
Mr. Chair, marami pong agency ang may utang sa amin. Hindi pa po sila pagbayad till daw.
Dapat eject nyo na lang.
Nakalista
para,
na lang po, Mr. Chair.
if they can, one packet to the other packet lang naman yun. No? But if you can generate revenue from them, at least makakatipid tayo on the subsidy. But yun na nga, no? These are all government agencies. So ito yung mga regional, I would assume ito yung mga regional centers.
In fact, there are like PDEA owes us about 1 billion.
Because of their property in office sila.
Yung main office nila is our property po.
Okay. And they don't pay rent.
They don't pay.
You don't pay rent. So
Yeah.
ano sila, parang
Parang
Staff ko ISF. Pero PDEA naman yun. Nakakatulong naman sa atin yun.
Yes.
No? Importante naman sila.
There are lots, especially in Quezon City, Mr. Chair.
Because of the property there.
Yeah,
no?
because majority of the property in Quezon City Circle and East Avenue is owned by the NEJ.
Okay. Yung next year ang corporate funds nyo, you plan to use 27 billion for your corporate funds. And this 27 billion mostly will go into may 6 billion will go into developmental programs. Developmental program and service related. So, ito ba yung mga production of houses?
I'm not sure which.
Dito sa ano nyo, sa next year your operating budget, your COB is 29 billion. 6 billion will go into 6 billion will go into a program called Developmental Program, Service Related.
This will be part of our housing project, Mr. Chair.
Ito yung mga housing projects ninyo.
Yes.
And then how many units are we going to produce with that production to of houses? Itong 6 billion?
This is including prior year's budget po, Mr. Chair, and including this year's budget of 2.2 billion. The 6 billion will generate around 6 to 7,000 housing units.
6 to 7. And mostly these are low income, no? Ang NHA yan talagang target niya.
Resettlement housing, Mr. Chair.
Resettlement housing.
Resettlement.
Okay. Saan itong mga resettlement housing? Itong 6 to 7,000?
This would be in Caloocan, Navotas, Valenzuela, in Region 4, Mr. Chair, Cavite, and Laguna.
So meron na siyang pupuntahan.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Actually, itong 6 billion to, if you compare this to the total housing requirement, di siya ganun kalaki. They talk about
minimal.
only 7,000 units. So, but kanina, ang ating estimate is about 1.3 million requirement. So, malayo pa tayo. Layo pa. Just submit to us itong breakdown nung 6.7 billion worth of housing units. Submit to us the locations.
We will submit, Mr. Chair.
Meron lang kami kasi yung gagamitin ng 2.2 eh.
In fact, Mr. Chair, our Tier 1, which are ongoing project, is amounting to almost 32 billion. But since 2.2 lang po yung nabibigay sa GAA, we just budget it accordingly kung ano po yung mabilis matapos.
Yeah, yung sa 2.2, yan pupunta yan sa Imandamos, sa Manila Bay. And then yung housing assistance program for calamity victims.
And the comprehensive and integrated housing program.
Itong housing assistance program for calamity victims, iba pa ito sa IHAP.
This is housing po, calamity housing. This is permanent housing for those affected by calamities.
Ano sa net pa siya? But this is the 2.2. 2 billion. Okay. Alright. Sige. Ano siya yung calamity? Ito sa Camarines Sur. Itong housing assistance program for calamity na 1 billion, Iba pa siya sa IHAP. It's
This is construction of housing units, Mr. Chair.
okay. Where is it located?
Uh, I think these are yung Typhoon Pablo and Typhoon Odette pa po before. So, Kamsur area, Tigaon, and Tabaco area.
Construction to, actual construction
Construction.
na siya. Okay. And kayo may NHA owns the land or who owns the land in this case?
The others are LGU owned, but the
Okay.
others, it's package po kasi ng house and lot.
Okay.
So, we bid out house and lot na po.
Itong mga kaganitong sa Housing Assistance Program for Calamity, these are purely grant to. Walang walang amortization.
Wala po.
So,
Case to case po, depende po sa, if we have a presidential directive that it will be grant, it will be a grant.
okay.
But if not, some are recoverable.
Okay. Ito yung binabayad nila at magkano na nga? 200, 300?
This around 800 pesos.
800 pesos a month. Tumaas na. Dati 200 lang yun eh. And then just submit to us nilang yung yung sa itong 6,000 to 7,000 housing units.
We will submit, Mr. Chair, all our ongoing projects.
Sige, para we have a list and para meron kaming inventory nun. And then I'll go to social housing finance kay President Laksa.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I saw that merong actually may subsidy na 166 million. Actually maliit lang compared
Yes.
to your size
Yes.
compared to your size. Kailangan pa ba ito? Kailangan niyo ba ito?
Yes, Mr. Chair. You might be referring to our COB, Corporate Operating Budget,
Yeah,
for
13.
2025, which is about 13.6 billion.
Mm.
But the fund source of this program, which is at 13.6, consists of CMP, HDH, and also our other special resettlement programs that are being funded by other agencies like DOTR, Intramuros Administration, and years ago, the Marawi, for the Marawi rehabilitation. But basically, for the CMP program, it will be solely funded through our GAA. Although we have collections amounting to about 1.4 billion a year, which should be around 1.5 billion this year, considering that we exerted a lot of effort in improving our collection efficiency, Mr. Chair, it will not be enough to cover both our operating expenses and also our requirements for the CMP program.
Yeah. One of your flagship programs in CMP.
Mr. Chair.
And yung CMP can be off-site and on-site, diba?
That's
Yeah.
There are two types, Mr. Chair. One is an on-site CMP and an on-site and off-site CMP. An on-site CMP are those already occupying certain land, and we assist them by financing the acquisition of their land. Recently, through the directive of our secretary, we enhanced the CMP to include site upgrading, considering that the main criticism on the CMP project for the past many years is that we only assist them in acquiring the land and they remain blighted for years. So we incorporated additional components, Mr. Chair, to include upgrading, including the improvements on their road networks, drainage system, and water and power if necessary, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, next year will be you'll be allocating 6.2 billion for community mortgage program.
Obviously, we don't have that much anymore, Mr. Chair, considering that the NEP given to us is only 166 million, of which 90 million is for CMP.
90 million lang for CMP?
Right, Mr. Chair. Fortunately, this suit is helping us for this year just to be able to roll out the initial CMP applications that were submitted to us, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Yung 90 million will come from national government subsidy, but I think your internally generated, your corporate funds will fund 6.2 billion in terms of...
Yung collection po natin is only 1.5 billion a year. That includes collection from our receivables plus yung interest income natin. Yung business income natin comes mainly from the interest from these receivables from our CMP.
CMP. Kumusta yung collection natin sa CMP? How much is the collectible?
Mr. Chair, yung current accounts namin, pumapalo siya ng more than 99%. But yung cumulative, including those problematic accounts, mga about 70%, Mr. Chair.
So total, yung mga problematic is about 70%.
Unti-unti na po namin pong na-address na yung problem dyan sa we created the special unit that will address all of these problematic accounts, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Well, one model rin, Secretary, to consider is engaging the LGUs. But not all LGUs are created equal. Iba-ibang LGUs. No? Masasabi ko lang sa amin because we take shelter and housing very seriously. In fact, we have a dedicated office for housing. And one of the things that we work with the KSAs, the key shelter agencies, is to allow the LGUs to be the collecting agent, and the tawag ni Secretary Rex, tawag niya doon, property manager, parang property manager, because yung LGU may stake kami doon sa housing pag maayos yung housing, mas tahimik yung housing, mas mas gusto natin kasi walang problema. So making sure that the housing project is paying its dues and also maintained well is also to the interest of the local government units. At napansin ko, mas takot sila magkaroon ng utang sa mayor kaysa kay President Laksa. Kasi hindi nila nakikita si President Laksa, si mayor nakikita nila araw-araw. No? So one of the models that we I think we had an engagement with NHA and SHAPSI is to allow the local government to collect, and then pag anong na-collect, kung anong due sa SHAPSI, ibigay, kung anong due sa LGU, di ibigay kasi may land component para wala ring sakit ang ulo yung national agency. Mahirap mangolekta. In fact, I remember yung first Northville during that time, iba pa yung administration, HSAC pa at that time, problematic talaga sila mangolekta bahay-bahay. In fact, I remember gumawa sila ng office doon at araw-araw nangongolekta sila ng 200 pesos per house. That's not the job of the national agencies anymore. Dapat ang national agencies policy na lang yung mga ganyan na bahay-bahay collection, LGUs na lang ang magtrabaho. Total, araw-araw naman nandun ang LGU.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Chair, hindi lang sa CMP, we already started coordinating with some LGUs doon sa rental modality. So, ang concepts, itatayo yung housing doon sa property ng LGU, and then pag naitayo, it will be turned over to LGU for estate management. Sila na yung
estate management ang tawag ni Sec Rex, I remember, when he was the mayor.
Yun po yung natin, tinitingnang modality.
Kasi like sa amin, in fact, yung mga Northville projects, yung mga disiplina projects, ang gusto natin parating maayos But I realize na ang tao mas natatakot at rinirespeto yung local officials kasi sila ang nandun araw-araw So if there's an arrangement that will empower the local government units to do the estate management, even the collection, through a MOA, I think that will be a good model for, para hindi rin kayo sakit ang ulo. Kasi,
That's the intention, Mr. Chair. In
Yeah.
fact, we have one rental facility to be started na, yung sa University of the Philippines. So, ganun din, itatayo natin yung walk-up buildings, and then it will be turned over to UP, and then they will be the one to do the estate management, including collection.
collection, oh. And then, i-remit na lang sa inyo kung anong
Actually, dito
collection.
hindi na i-remit kasi using escrow fund. So, pang estate management talaga
Pang
nila.
ano na lang nila. Mas maganda yon, mas maganda. Yeah, but not all LGUs are created equal. I know some LGUs probably don't like the headaches, but sa amin kasi, we don't like the headaches ng magulo. No? And the only way to do that is to have certain say in the estate management and collection.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct, Mr. Chair.
So I'll go to National Home Mortgage Finance. There's also a request here for 450 million. Tama?
No, that's only 400,000.
400,000. Alam niyo, yung oras niyo, mas maganda pa nasa office para pumunta kayo dito humingi ng 400,000.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Sayang,
all right.
sayang yung executive time.
Yeah,
Oo.
we can
Kaya nga
do that.
nagkamali ako dito, parang 450, akala ko
Yeah.
nagkamali yung staff eh.
No. Actually, our contribution to our retainer is
Bakit president kayo pupunta dito for 450,000? Dapat,
I'm here to support our secretary to make sure that we're here.
yeah. I don't know if I should ask pa about 450,000, but saan magagamitin yung 450,000?
You really don't need to
Oo
ask.
nga, eh, parang, oo. No, but to be honest about it, rini-review namin, there's a alam ng mga ano ito ng LBRMO, meron account called budgetary support to government corporations, and we're rationalizing because there's a lot of government corporations na maganda yung performance, no. But minsan nagtataka ko, bakit pa sila pupunta dito to ask for subsidies, no, if they can carry it on their own account. Kagaya nito na 450,000 lang, no, parang
Our
parang
contribution to the treasury this year from our retained earning is 377 million from our.
Yes.
So, yes, you're right. Our EBITDA is pretty efficient.
Yeah, your profit before subsidies about 1.1 billion. Eh.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then how much dividends do you remit?
Just as I just said, we contributed 377 million.
Million in dividends
That's right,
to
yes.
national government. All right. And so far, how many units have you financed?
For this year, we're rather slow because we are really focusing on other financial institutions instead of directly. Well, we're in the business of buying
Yeah.
mortgages so that we unfreeze mortgages which are 30 years. So we unfreeze that and we put it into, and then we put it into securities and we sell the securities to the private sector. So the private sector invests in the housing industry. Basically, that's our business model. Right.
But how many? Diba, you
So
buy-
this year, we've been
But
rather
total?
slow because we've shifted our focus from purchasing directly from developers, but directly from financial institutions. Though we still continue to purchase mortgages from developers.
But how many in terms of number of units? How much have you? How much is in your portfolio right now? Because you buy mortgages, diba? And then may mga housing units yun eh, mga mortgage. So how many units in your inventory of mortgages?
Well, for the past 3 years, it's about only 800.
800 units.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's why we'd like to focus ourselves on the financial institutions. Like other financial institutions might give us 1,500, I think we're looking at. Yeah, if it pushes through.
Okay. And then the mortgage that you purchase are which income, which
Yeah, socialized
Type of
and
housing.
economic.
socialized and economic
Yeah, right.
housing. Okay. And then they pay directly to you, itong mga homeowners, the owners of the units.
Yeah.
They pay directly to the National Home Mortgage.
Yeah, in the end, we take over the buyer's financing, and therefore we actually do the collection.
You do the collection.
Yeah,
Diretso
right.
na sa National Home Mortgage.
And
So itong 800, they pay directly to you.
right, right.
How is the collection rate of this 800?
There are two parts of our receivables. The first part is the Unified Home Lending that was stopped in 2010, 2009, right? So that we are experiencing a very low collection rate, but since we launched our program of housing loans receivables 2009, our collection rate for those receivables are 85%. Yes.
Taas rin ha, 85%.
Yes. Yeah. But the advantage of the Unified Home Lending, because they're pretty old real estate mortgages, like they're probably about 25 years old or maybe 30-year-old, is the value of the underlying asset there, the land, has actually increased by maybe 10 times, 20 times.
I saw here in my briefer that in 2024 and 2025, the number of units that you are buying declined.
Yes.
How come it declined for 2024, 2025?
Well, firstly, we implemented our policies strictly, and secondly, we felt that the opportunities lie in the real estate mortgages that are existing in other financial institutions rather than developers, right? So that's the reason why it's slowed down.
Okay, from here in my notes, 2,170 finance units in 2023, and then only 27 units
Correct.
in
That's
2025.
correct. Right, that's correct.
But you buy from government financial institutions
We buy from government and private sector.
and private sector.
And private.
Only banks? Only banks or developers as well? In-house financing ng developers?
Prior, it was basically developers, but now we're looking at financial institutions such government, private banks, even other financing institutions such as savings associations, right, cooperatives.
But in the past, it's only, nakita ko dito sa programs ninyo, it's mostly, for example, itong Housing Loan Receivable Purchase Program, originators, government agencies, developers, financial institutions, home financing institutions.
Yes, yes.
So these are the target. And then you also buy from developers. Kasi in developers, may in-house financing sila eh. You also buy from them?
If they care to sell.
Okay. I'm sure they will, no? Kasi parang capital na yan eh.
Sometimes they don't care to sell.
Okay. Baka yung mga mayayaman, mga Ayala, mga ganun. Pero I think yung mga...
Even in the socialized and economic housing,
really?
it turns out that the developers, there's a tendency for them to hang on to their...
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But you have bought from developers
in the past,
in the
yes,
past.
in the
Okay,
past, in the
all right.
past.
Okay. And then in 2026, I saw here in your target is you plan to purchase around 2,219.
Yes.
That's the target.
Yes. Currently talking to the other financial institutions, that's the kind of numbers that we're getting. we
Okay.
hope that we push through with our targets.
All right. And that will inject liquidity into
No, yeah. Well, the
the-
concept is basically to bring in private investment into housing.
I hear
Instead of, it's just like the treasury bonds. People are purchasing treasury bonds very quickly. The retail treasury bonds are very strong. We'd like to have a housing bond that's just as strong as treasury bills.
But you have issued your housing bond. Naka-issue na kayo in the past.
Oh yes, every year. Bonds, yes. This year?
So hindi nyo na
This
kailangan
September,
talaga yung 400,000. Mag-issue na lang kayo ng bond. No? Sayang.
Yeah, this year we've issued roughly about
Pahiramin na lang kayo ni Secretary ng
1.5.
400,000.
we're targeting maybe about 2 to maybe 3 billion by the end of this year. It's heavily regulated. We talked
Yeah.
to a lot of other financial institutions to give us their okay. But if we're able to turn around rather quickly, we might reach about 2 or 2 plus billion.
What is the outstanding bond issuance right now? How much bonds have you
The total-
issued?
10. Roughly 10, 15, 10
Billion?
to 12. Yeah, right. Yeah. Since the time we started.
10 to 12 billion.
Yeah, right.
And then
Outstanding.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yeah,
This 10
right.
to 12 billion was used to buy all of these mortgages.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then the homeowners
Right. Yeah, right.
pay you, and then you pay the coupon of those bonds.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're actually the Fannie Mae of the
Yeah.
Philippines. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well, people have advised us, the investment bankers advise us to make a dent in the market. We should be issuing about 5 billion a year.
5 billion
sort
a year.
of. Yeah, so that's a target that we'd like to see, so that these capital markets can grow. The capital markets investment in housing can grow.
How is it, Secretary, yung activity ng National Home Mortgage? How does it play into the housing strategy of DSUD? Kasi meron ng 4Ps, how do I call this? Reform 4Ps, expanded 4PH. Paano sila how does it connect?
Mr. Chair, they're basically provide liquidity in our market. As many of our borrowers or developers eventually will realize they could not wait until 30 years for the beneficiaries to pay them. So they need to be able to replenish that money, and NHMFC are able to buy the receivables. Doon po nagkakaroon ng refresh yung funding ng mga developers to do more projects. Yun po ang tulong ng National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation.
From a policy point of view, I would assume that ang DSUD ba sits as the chairman of the
Yes, Mr. Chair.
National Home Mortgage?
Yes.
Oo.
Yes.
So
Yes, our chair.
if the
Secretary.
target is to finance 1.3 million homes, largely from informal settler communities as well as low income, yun ang dapat tina-target nilang portfolio na binibili, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The idea is to get as many developers to do projects and then to transfer the receivables to
Yes.
National Home, so that in
But
turn,
not the upper, let's say, hindi naman receivables, let's say, ng mga upper middle, mostly. Kasi
generally
ang
they're
backlog
targeting
nandito
po socialized housing.
Socialized housing.
Socialized housing po.
Socialized
Socialized, okay. Is this socialized housing,
socialized to economic housing.
is that considered a high-risk portfolio?
Yes, but if you blend it in the asset pool, and
Do you lower the risk?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then you lower the risks, because anyway there's many accounts with
Correct.
small amounts,
Yeah.
so the risks is spread out.
But the accounts is only 2,000, tama ba? 2,000 units. Therefore, that's 2,000 accounts.
Yeah, the last issuance is 1,500 accounts, which totaled to about 1.5 billion.
But yung
Right.
number of
So that's roughly, let's say, 1,000 accounts spread out.
when you say accounts, yan yung may-ari ng bahay.
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
So ngayon may mga 2,000 something, 2,000 plus accounts under your portfolio. Tama?
Actually, we have more, but right now we have 2,500 that we could still issue bonds against.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we actually have much more. About 67,000 accounts.
6 to 7,000 accounts.
Right.
Okay. Can we ask also, meron ba tayong nila? Parang annual report? Hingi na lang kami ng annual report from all the KSAs.
Oh yes, of course.
So that we can we'll have some information about your operations.
We will comply, Mr. Chair.
Secretary. Request also a formal letter doon sa wish list na binanggit nyo kanina, so that to be part of our kasi what we're doing is we collate all the wish list and then we manage where to get the funds. So padala na lang kami ng official letter.
We will submit an official letter.
All right. Okay. I don't have any more questions. No, so there being no further questions, the budget of the Department of Housing, Settlements and Urban Development and its attached agencies and corporations, namely HSAC, NHMFC, NHA, and SHFC, is now deemed submitted for plenary's consideration, subject to the discussion and the submission of documents requested. All right, thank you. Thank you, Secretary.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Session suspended.